Thank you, Madam President. I take the floor in explanation of vote on the resolution endorsement of the New York Declaration on the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and implementation of the two-state solution. We express our gratitude to you for convening this meeting and thank the co-chairs, France and Saudi Arabia, for a successful high-level international conference for peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution. This is a very important and long overdue matter. We also thank the co-chairs of the various working groups for their efforts in the build-up to and during the high-level conference in July. As we meet here today, the killings in Gaza are unabating. The genocide continues without any hope that it will soon end. The state of Israel continues to act with impunity and without fear of being held accountable. In recent days, it has extended its illegal actions by now also attacking Qatar in a blatant violation of international law, breaching the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity, while also compromising the safeguarding of civilians as outlined in the United Nations Charter and international humanitarian law. This flagrant violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the state of Qatar comes against the background of the government of Qatar playing a prominent role as facilitator to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of all hostages held by Hamas. Madam President, we note with deep concern the motion adopted by the Israeli Knesset calling for applying Israeli sovereignty over the occupied West Bank and the Jordan Valley, signaling the intention of Israel to annex this territory. This could effectively bury the two-state solution and continue with blatant violation of international law, including UN resolutions and ICJ rulings, which have given hope to the Palestinian people. This motion, together with statements such as those made yesterday by Prime Minister Netanyahu that, and I quote, "There will be no Palestinian state, this land is ours," close quote, undermines the prospect of a Palestinian state. Despite the horror that is happening in Gaza or the occupied Palestinian territories in general, we are pleased that UN member states, in their numbers, have come out in support of the call to end the atrocities in Palestine and implement the almost 80-year-old promise of Palestinian statehood. We are hopeful that the end of the occupation is within reach and the creation of a contiguous Palestine state existing peacefully and side by side with the State of Israel along the 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital, will soon become a reality. This resolution that we have adopted today, reaffirming the two-state solution, should not distract us from the urgent efforts that are needed to ensure an immediate ceasefire and an end to Israel's genocidal war against the Palestinian people. We should be emboldened to act so that negotiation for a just peace can commence. The stability of the Middle East region and international peace and security in general depends on a just and peaceful resolution to the question of Palestine and holding those who violate international law accountable to ensure that all states are safe from wanton and brazen aggression, and that international law remains credible. At the request of the General Assembly, the ICJ has issued an advisory opinion finding Israel's continued presence in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, unlawful, and that it must end rapidly as possible. The court determined Israel's policies and practices, including its settlement expansion, land confiscation, and discriminatory legislation, violate fundamental international law principles, such as the right to self-determination and the prohibition of acquiring territory by force. The opinion also sets obligations for all states to not recognize the illegal situation and not provide aid to maintain it, and requires the UN General Assembly and Security Council to consider actions to bring the unlawful presence to an end. A year ago, this Assembly adopted Resolution A/10/24, calling on all member states to take necessary measures to implement this ICJ advisory opinion. This creates legal obligations on us, all of us, which we must adhere to. Madam President, South Africa voted in favor of the resolution today and welcomed the outcome on 5 September 2025 with a clear understanding that the outcome document, as described in this paragraph, in paragraph 42 of the declaration, was prepared under the authority of the co-chairs and is seen as their own view on the outcome of discussions, as well as proposals from the working groups, and does not preclude a more inclusive approach to negotiations towards finalizing the two-state solution and a true realization of the right to self-determination of the people of Palestine. The outcome serves as an important reference for what is required for a viable two-state solution, while not constituting a determination or prejudgment of the negotiations required to achieve this. Once again, we thank the co-chairs for this outcome document and be assured of South Africa's continued support in this process. I thank you.
I thank the representative of South Africa. I give the floor now to Latvia, followed by the Islamic Republic, now to Malaysia, followed by Pakistan and Algeria. Malaysia.
Thank you, Madam President. Malaysia commends the initiative of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and France, which have received overwhelming support of UN member states. Malaysia fully supports the collective efforts of the international community towards the two-state solution and recognition of the State of Palestine. This collective global commitment and acceptance of the two-state solution and recognition of the State of Palestine should be taken as a key step forward to end Israel's colonization, illegal occupation, and politics of dispossession in the occupied Palestinian territory. It is in this context that Malaysia is going along with the draft resolution that seeks to endorse the New York Declaration. At the same time, Malaysia wishes to make its position clear on the New York Declaration. Any initiatives that seek to advance the two-state solution must not be driven only by narrowly defined or politically manipulated security concerns at the expense of the security of the Palestinians and their inalienable rights, including their right to self-determination, as well as their right to statehood. Palestinian statehood is not a reward, it is an inherent right. The realization of the two-state solution and the recognition of the State of Palestine should not be subject to any preconditions. And speaking of security, it should be enjoyed by all, certainly not just for one party or country. Malaysia has consistently called for the establishment of an independent and sovereign State of Palestine based on the pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital, and Palestinian statehood, including its sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the right of return of millions of Palestinian refugees, all of which are guaranteed under international law and therefore must be part and parcel of the solution for it to be viable. Madam President, our efforts must be genuine and not be undertaken for the sake of political expediency in response to domestic pressures. It must be based on full respect for international law and commitment to peace, stability, and justice for all. In the implementation of the NY Declaration, its shortcomings must also be fully addressed. There must be concrete actions and commitments from UN member states with a time-bound action plan to protect and preserve the Palestinians' fundamental freedom and their right to statehood, respect the will and aspirations of the Palestinian people, guarantee security for the Palestinians, including through the immediate withdrawal by Israel from the OPT, diplomatic recognition of Palestine state, and socio-economic development for the Palestinians. Fully support the mandate and role of the UN in providing aid and development assistance to Palestine, including the indispensable role of the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugee in the Near East, UNRWA, and ensure that Israel is held accountable for its persistent violations of international law, for the crimes of genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, and galvanize efforts to deliver justice, including in the form of reparations for Palestinians. This is Malaysia's expectation. Our vote in support of the resolution today reflects our solidarity with Palestine and the international community's commitment to realizing peace, stability, and prosperity in the Middle East region. For this declaration to be meaningful, a first step is for it to bring about an immediate end to the ongoing Israel's war and atrocities in Gaza. Thank you.
Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.